Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'll be doing an unboxing of the Nokia G400 5G. So I picked up this Nokia G400 at Metro by T-Mobile, and at the time of this recording, which is December 26, 2022, you can get it free with a port-in and free with a new line, new activation. It's available in-store and online, so be sure to check that out. Now before I get into the unboxing, I'm going to give you the specs of the phone, just to show you what this phone is rocking with here. So we have a 6.58-inch full HD display coming in at 1080 by 2408, has a 20 by 9 aspect ratio with 401 pixels per inch. It is IPS LCD with 120 Hz refresh rate, so really good stuff there. Now for the processor, it's running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 480 Plus 5G chip with an Adreno 619 GPU. It is an octa-core processor, so I'm kind of interested to see how the performance of this processor is going to be. This phone has 3 cameras on the rear. It's got a 48 megapixel wide angle main lens with aperture of f1.8, a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, aperture of f2.2, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor with aperture of f2.2, records at full 1080 at 60 frames per second, and the front camera is 16 megapixel wide angle lens, record 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now, on paper here, it says that the front has Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and it has an aluminum frame, according to what it says here. So we got to check that out. This phone's rocking a 5,000 milliamp hour battery with 20-watt fast charge, wired charging, of course. Don't say nothing here about wireless charging, which you don't expect that here on a phone of this price point. And that's about all I'm going to mention here as far as the specs of the phone. So let's go ahead here and just slide the phone right out of this box here, and right on top you will see the phone. Go ahead and pull it out and put it to the side for a moment and see what and all else does come in the box. So you got your SIM ejection tool right there, and under here got your Nokia quick start guides and stuff like that. And over here we do have your 20-watt fast charging brick, and on the other side we have a USB Type-C. Let's see, it's Type-C to Type-C charging cable, so really good stuff there. And that's all that comes into the box. Okay, so we're all set up now and ready to go. Let's go ahead and turn the phone on. Now, we'll start off with how to unlock the phone, different methods. Of course, you got your swipe button for your PIN, your pattern, or your password. Fingerprint scanner, we'll check that now. And there you go. It works fine. It's not the fastest in the world, but it does work and it's very accurate. Let's go ahead and check out Face Unlock. And wow, that is quick. That is very, very quick. Now, this here is basically a stock version of Android, okay? I'm not really sure if HMD Global really puts anything on their phones as far as the skin goes, but for the majority of it here, it's pretty stock, pretty basic. Now, if you look at it here, it reminds me a lot of the Samsung Galaxy A23 that I did the other day on my channel. The way the bezels look, the teardrop notch that just needs to go. It's just kind of an older generic look here, and kind of wish they would actually thin it out a little bit, put a hole punch in these phones. My personal opinion, but now, of course, whenever you get a SIM card in this phone and activate it and everything, you are going to probably see some bloatware from Metro, some apps. But right now, out of the box, it's pretty well stock. There you go. Now the display looks pretty good. I mean, it's full 1080, but the viewing angles, they tend to wash. If you're seeing right there, I mean, they tend to wash out quite a bit. Now, you're not really gonna be looking at your phone like this, you know what I'm saying, or like this or whatever, but the screen is not as punchy and vibrant, for full 1080. But it is what it is. It's not bad, especially for a phone you can get right now for free. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and pull the drop down here. Now, we are running Android version 12 here on this phone. You got Google Pay. You have your Bluetooth, airplane, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. NFC is on the phone. Screen recorder, all that stuff. Now, let's go to the settings here for a little bit, and we'll see what they actually added in this phone as far as some extra features or whatever. So go in here to connected devices. You will see that we got NFC. You can cast your screen. Typical stuff that you see in basically all phones now. Android Auto, Nearby Share, all that stuff that you see on a lot of phones nowadays. Now down here at battery, you got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery with that 480 plus. It should sip the battery. We got to check that battery test out and see how the battery does. Now we do have adaptive battery here. Battery percentage, turn that on. Got to have that. App, background manager. You got super battery saver and battery saver. So yeah, I mean, probably get a long time on these Nokias on that super battery saver there if you want to. Now going in here to storage. Now you got 64 gigabytes of storage, and 19 gigabytes is being used, and 18 of that is by the system, which is crazy in my personal opinion. So, out of the box, you're set with 45 gigabytes. But you got an SD card slot for your photos and videos. That will help out greatly to save on your storage. 64 gigs, I mean, like I said, for a phone that you can get free with a new number or port in, there's not much in the room of complaining with a phone like this. There really ain't, because you're not paying anything for the phone. So, it is what it is. Now, down here at display, you got your brightness level, white balance, lock screen stuff, screen timeout. Let's turn it to up to 8 hours or always on. Go to 10 minutes there just to have it there. Got your dark theme. Turn that on now, and that looks a whole lot better. And down here, get your screen refresh rate. So you have adaptive and standard. So 120 hertz is really nice to see here on this phone. Go ahead and turn it up there to adaptive, and auto rotate screen, screensaver, and stuff like that. So wallpapers and style, accessibility. So if anything you need in accessibility, this phone's got everything that you need. Wallpaper and style, you can see it has all the new stuff here. The app grid, dark theme, wallpaper colors, basic colors, and yeah, you see that on a lot of this on the Android version 12, 13, stuff like that. So let's go into security, and you will see got screen lock, fingerprint, face unlock, smart lock. Now the security update is July 5th, so hopefully there'll be an update here on this phone. And that good stuff. Digital well-being system here. So you got gestures. So here you got quickly open camera, system navigation. So you can have your 3 buttons down here at the bottom, or have your gesture navigation. So yeah, lift to check phone, double tap to check phone, mute on pickup, turn over to reject calls, press and hold power button. If you press and hold the power button, it's going to bring up, it's going to tell you for Google Assistant or whatever. Go in here. If you don't want that, turn that off. And then when you hold this power button down, it's going to bring up your power off, restart, and all that stuff. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to access Google Assistant if you want to. So yeah, all that stuff there. System update. So update is available already, as you can see right there. It's 2.5 gigs. That's quite a big update here on this phone. Now, I'm not really sure what version or what this here consists of, but it says this release includes various bug fixes, security and system improvements, stuff like that. But 2 gigs, 2.5 gigs, that's pretty good size. So yeah, that's about all there is there. Let's go back home. Now, like I said, the 480 plus processor. This here does always look a little bit choppy here when you first kind of open it up and all, as you see in here. But once it gets opened up and everything, it's gone. It just left. The Google feed, it ain't here no more. I don't know where it went. So, okay, maybe that'll come back, because right now it's just, it's not there. Okay, there it is. Okay, so like I say, it is a bit choppy when you first open it up, but once you get to using it, it does seem to smooth itself out. And that 120 hertz does really good here as well. So looking at the camera here for just a brief moment, we'll see what all we have here in the camera settings. So right off the jump here is your 1x, got your 2x zoom, up to 8x zoom. So go ahead and back down here to 1x, whatever. Get rid of that there, and you got your ultra wide angle camera lens right there. Now, Nokia's ultra wide angle lens has never been that great on these cheaper phones. We got to see here how the ultra wide angle camera is here. Ultra wide angle camera, yeah. Okay, camera lens here is on this phone. So you got your photo, got your portrait. So yeah, skip all of that. It just tells you how to do that. Night mode. You got more, so for dual sight, panorama, pro mode, time lapse, and slow motion. Bumpy cam there, I apologize for that. Back into the camera we go. We've got your video mode. And so up here, this button here is wind noise reduction on or off. So good stuff there. This button here brings up your settings for 1080p 30 and 1080p at 60 frames per second. So that's kind of nice to see in a phone of this price range to at least get 60 frames per second here in 1080p. Now, just kind of dropping down here into the settings here. Shutter sound, haptic feedback. Now, here it says data storage, phone memory. When you put an SD card in here, you change that to SD card, and all your photos and videos will go to your SD card to save room on your internal storage here, okay? Watermark, video stabilization, OZO audio. Capture sound with the best audio quality and highest spatial precision. Good stuff there. So, yeah, mirror photos and all that stuff. Got your cinema mode over here. So, cinema mode says the cinema mode can record movies with 24 frames per second, with 21.9 aspect ratio. Record an H-log format for more control over the exposure and look of your final video footage. Video Pro mode gives you more creative possibilities. So, yeah, you got that here. Cinema mode on this Nokia. So, not bad. Now, front-facing camera. We'll look at that for just a second here. And go to video, and we'll just see 1080p at 30 and 60 frames. So, it is really nice to see 60 frames per second front and rear of this phone coming in at this price point. Wasn't really expecting that. So, good stuff there. This button up here is also for your noise reduction and all that good stuff there. So honestly, you know, it's not that bad from what I'm seeing. Now, some of y'all might be saying, well, this phone runs the Snapdragon 480 Plus. It can't be that powerful. You know, I don't want nothing that slow. Got 4 gigabytes of RAM. Well, you know, when you compare it next to the Galaxy A23 5G, you know, that costs $50 more than this phone with a new line, it's got the same storage, 64 gigs, same RAM with 4 gigabytes of RAM. The only difference really is the processor is the 695. Now, I got a Geekbench tested here on this phone as well as the Galaxy. So I'm going to compare them side by side. So I'll go ahead and show you the Geekbench 5 score now. So here on the Nokia, we got a single core score of 546 single core and 1660 multi-core, which is pretty respectable, to be honest. Now, looking at the Samsung Galaxy A23, we got a single core score of 649 and a multi-core of 1851. So, of course, going from a 480 plus to a 695, there is going to be some differences there, of course, you know, in the speeds, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference in just everyday usage. So, yeah, not too bad there. Like I say, I'm interested to see what this phone will be capable of. So, yeah, now if you look at the back of it here, it is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see. So, you might want to get a case for this phone if you can find one that's decent enough or whatever. But it does kind of grab those smudges and all that kind of stuff that you see on phones. It was these plastic back, stuff like that. But I would say overall, first impressions is decent here on the Nokia G400 5G, especially if you can get it for free. And even if it did cost you like 30, 40 bucks, it's still a really good deal. And so, yeah, I will be testing out the games, performance, and stuff like that here on this phone. So, self-informative anyway. Hit the like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. If you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Clicking that bell on for all notifications of future videos. I got a lot coming up here very soon, so be sure and come on back. I sure would appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.